Hello and welcome to the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Nina Adio, a social media marketing expert specific to the wedding industry. On this show, I discuss tips to help you DIY your social media, as well as getting the confidence and income to outsource it. Thank you for allowing this episode to come through on your Bluetooth, your car radio, wherever it may be you're listening from today. Now, let's take your wedding business to the next level. Welcome back to the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast, everybody. My name is Nina, and today I am recording actually from a hotel room. I am in Times Square, and yet it is still quieter than when I record from my apartment. So today I kind of want to come in really quickly to ask you this. Do you feel your social media content or post? Think about one individual post you're about to do and just ask yourself, is this something I would save for my own wedding and reference? Is this something I would share with somebody who is getting married? Because what I'm learning or have learned or focus on when I post content on social media is that sometimes it is about the ideas. It is about posting something clever that a couple did at your venue or posting something awe-inspiring that you created for a wedding that people are going to stop their scrolling to look at and then share with somebody else. And then Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, they see that this is compelling content and they want people to stay on their platform. So they start pushing it out too, and your post starts growing. So when you're looking at your gallery of images, and I walk you through this with your own content and ideas when we do strategy calls together, which you can look into on my website. But what you want to do is I keep kind of a just really big, broad folder so I can look at all the images at once because I want to see what is pulling me, what is making me stop my own scroll and say, "Yep, that's the photo. That's a pin. That's something that somebody would like to do for their wedding, or this represents what this client does for weddings." You want to have that reaction because if you do, chances are somebody else is too. So, what I will do when I am working with somebody on a strategy call is I will pick an account that I can tell from what they've told me is a similar audience. And I will say, see how they're doing this, see how they're doing this, see this verbiage. I was chatting with somebody on a call and they were more of a one wedding per week destination type of spot. So I pulled up another account so we could see that I ran. I wasn't taking from others, but I showed one of my accounts that was comparable and said, all right, let's see how we're doing this. Let's see how we're pulling that. Or sometimes I will use another successful account and say, look at how they're showing and showcasing the events. Look at what images they're choosing. And we walk through that all together. But what you can do on your own is really look and feel that reaction. You want something that somebody's going to save or share with somebody else. I spent some time before starting this episode looking at my clients' pages to see what their top posts were, other than reels. What were their top image posts, carousel posts, etc. And the ones that were the most engaged with were of unique ideas or luxury style weddings. They were of things that either looked pretty or were clever ideas. So, an example, obviously, we all can kind of get a visual of what a luxury wedding is. This is something where you look at it and okay, that's boss, that's more clear. But when I say a clever idea, for example, one venue, the most popular post was a couple who did signs that were named after different Long Island beach towns. So something like that is very compelling to another couple who is looking to plan a Long Island nautical type of wedding. Or they love Long Island or things like that. That's going to be very relevant to the venue. So when you get those clever ideas that do well, you can still repurpose those ideas, both for the luxury wedding, the clever idea. One way to repurpose them is simply by posting other photos from that same event if you have them. Another way to repurpose them is by saying, okay, so we know that that table sign went really well. Let's do a gallery carousel post that shows 5 different table signs 5 different couples have used at the venue. So then you can do that. Another example of what you can do to repurpose these ideas is maybe you make a Canva post. You take that luxury style wedding photo. Maybe it was using emerald green. Okay, do you make a mood board of it? Something like that, or bring people behind the scenes, talk about it, maybe even film a reel saying, I'm going to walk you through how I created this floral design for this wedding. And what we're trying to do is communicate to people through social media and photos that the style of wedding they want to have is the style of wedding you provide. With our social media posts, we are dictating to the audience what it is that we do and that we offer. Because we don't always know they're going to read the caption, and we don't always know they're going to go to our website. We want to have imagery that is so compelling that they do go to our website. And that's why looking at what has performed well and replicating it can really work well for you. And I do feel that the photos that are going to do the best are going to evoke, and it's so cliche when I say they're going to evoke an emotion. But let me tell you, these two different, I say the high luxury and the clever idea, they're very different. They probably both, to be honest, because this second one with the signs, it was still a very high end upscale wedding, but it was a very different look. It was much more earthy looking and simplistic in its look, but its idea and concept is really what was reeling in for people and creating that connection. So you have kind of two different examples, but the result is the same. That it is something somebody's going, let me share this with somebody else. One more example of a different venue that photo did the best is evolving actually a local sports team. So every now and then a couple will hire the local sports mascot to come to an event. And if that happens at an event you're a part of, you want to hang on to those photos, because at the beginning of every season and at the end of every season, I like to use those posts and they perform really great. And the reason is not only is it stopping the scroll, right? In this case, it was Mr. Met, because people are seeing Mr. Met in the photo. Or I also had the New York Islanders mascot lately, Sparky. But what happens is they're seeing that and then they're sharing it because they're going, oh my gosh, we could have Mr. Met at this venue. You know, we could have Mr. Met at our wedding. And those clever ideas start to get shared, and it's more likely, okay, that's going to get shared with your target audience if it's your home state sports team. And that's why it's such a home run. It is connecting with the right target audience when you are able to take advantage of a mascot like that. So that's just an example of a post that I know when I see it come in a photographer gallery, I know that's going to stop the scroll, and I know that it's going to translate to be shareable and savable content for Instagram. Now, I said in the beginning that this is going to be quick, so I guess I will wrap it up. But when you are posting, that is what I want you to do. Think about, what is my audience going to save? What is my audience going to share? What is my audience going to respond to? Because that is how you're going to hook them in. If you would like me to walk you through this personally for your wedding business, you can go ahead and check out booking one of my strategy calls. It is a new thing I've been doing, and it has been so fun to get to know the different venues. I've had venues that are more like camping grounds. I have worked with DJs, bridal stores. It has been a really, really fun experience, and I just can't wait to work with more vendors and more of you who listen to the podcast. So, if you want to check that out, go to idoweddingmarketing.com and it will be under my services. Next week, I will be coming to you with another really fun interview. So I can't wait. Oh my gosh, and I'm eventually going to have to update you guys on 90s Con. I never got to do the update on that, but guys, we already did the outro, so I can't do it. Can't do it. We're going to save it. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to give it a rate and review wherever you are listening. And if you'd like to keep the conversation going or growing, we can grow the conversation. Go ahead and visit my Facebook page, the I Do Wedding Marketing Facebook group as well, where you can join and chat with me. See you on the next episode, guys.